everyone, it's Sherry Carroll here from Hero Arts bringing you a masculine Valentine's. I've created this card with my husband in mind using our new grays and black cardstocks. So what I've done is I've cut my layering papers to create my own unique card. I'll start off by showing you these new cardstocks. So we have wet cement, charcoal, and black, and they come in either individual packs or combined mix packs, and they're just scrumptious and they go with our great new inks. I also have a piece of scrap paper here, and I'm going to show you a little bit of a trick that I've figured out and how to score my cards to make everything work so I can do a gatefold card or whatever. So here I'm just cutting my paper, and this I call the hot dog cut because it goes lengthwise on the card. And so I'm cutting it at 4 1/4 inches because the paper is 8 1/2 inches, so 1/2 of that would be 4 1/4. I'll go ahead and cut my cardstock too while I have my paper trimmer out. So the trick I want to show you is to consider your cardstock as a continuous loop. So if it's folded in half, or wherever the fold is, that same back length of that paper will be the same. So here it is folded in half, and that reaches 5 1/2 inches. If I were to fold it somewhere about 1 inch off the right side, and I were to measure it up, that back end is still 5 1/2 inches. So if you think of it as a continuous loop, no matter where you fold it, the back piece is still the same. So 5 1/2 inches. I hope that helps with a little bit of a visual on how I do my scoring. So here I have my cut cardstock, and I'm going to get my score tool here, and I'm just going to go out 1 1/2 inches. I'm going to be making kind of a card enclosure, like a gift card enclosure. So I've gone out 1 1/2 inches, so now I'm going to go 5 1/2 inches from that score line and score again. And I love my scoreboard, wouldn't be without it. So now I'm going to go ahead and crease those back, and you can see that that fold line is perfect. So once you have everything scored, I always go over with a bone folder just to crease my creases really tight, and I just love how this matches up so well. So as I said, I'm doing a gift card enclosure, so here I'm just going to apply some adhesive just to this flap that I've created and just on the sides so that I'll have room to slide in my little gift card when I'm all done. This also helps me in doing my stamping on the front end of the card. It'll hold that one piece flat so I won't have to worry about it kind of flipping up on me. So for this card I'm using the Basic Gray Hero Arts carbonated background, and it's a really fun dot type of background, and also I'm using charcoal ink, but I have my prototype ink pad here that doesn't have a label top on it. So I will just tap my ink pad onto the cling stamp, and it's really easy to see where you've covered. I'm not going to be so perfect with this one, but I do want to make sure that I get pretty good coverage. And I am one to ink and ink again. I always like to make sure I do get some pretty good coverage of my ink. So once I have that all inked up, I'll go ahead and lay my card onto the rubber stamp, and I'm lining up the top of my card with the dot pattern. And once I have that placed, I'll go ahead and put a piece of paper on top, and I just grabbed my little prototype card paper here instead of a full sheet of paper, but I'm just rubbing the back of the card using that paper, and this keeps the ink from getting on my fingers, and I can go ahead and give it really good pressure with my fingers. Once I'm done, I'll go ahead and lift that up, and now I have my pattern. And this kind of reminds me of a men's tie, so this is why this masculine card works so well. Next, I'm using the new Renaissance heart, which is the Hero Arts die, and you can see it's a really beautiful filigree type heart, and I just love how it die cuts. I've also die cut another Hero Arts heart from some book text that I just used a glue stick and stuck it onto white paper, and then I went ahead and used the die. Once I had that cut out, I used the Pale Tomato new mid-tone ink, and I just sponged that on with a little dauber just to color the paper. I also cut a strip of the new black paper, and that'll go across the card. So here I'm just adding adhesive to the front flap of the card, and then I can go ahead and line up my black strip of paper. It's a little bit longer than the card right now, but that's okay. I'll go ahead and trim that off once I've determined how long I want it. So I've kind of put my finger there as a little guide. I want to get my scissors out here real quick. So now I can go ahead and trim this off, and I'll do a little V-cut or a banner cut, and I cut up the center just a little bit, and then I go in on each edge until I have the perfect little V-cut. To cut the other side, I always flip my card over and I cut in at the same angle. Next, I'll be attaching my filigree heart, and I'm going to hang it off the edge a little bit, as you can see when I open this card up a bit. I'll be affixing this with the Zig glue pen because of the small areas, and I absolutely love this little pen to get into really teeny tiny areas. So using my finger kind of as a guide, I'll just keep my fingers off to the right, and I don't want to add glue there because I don't want it to stick to the other side of the card. So here I'm just adding little dots of glue, and I'll continue working until I've covered the entire piece except for that piece at the right. Okay, now that I've put all my glue onto the back of my heart, I'm just pressing this onto the card, and as you can see I still have that opening off to the right. And this glue is a wet glue, so I'm going to go ahead and just press it down in a few places. A lot of the times I'll put a piece of paper over top just to press it so that my fingers don't get all gluey and transfer. But if you do have any overrun, you can take it off with an eraser or with your hands. So that's how the card will open, and I just love how the white contrasts against all the black and the gray in the background. Next, I'll be mounting my little stained heart, and I've added a little foam square on the back, and so I'll just go ahead and press that in place onto the card, and it's really starting to come together already. I laugh that in the amount of time your husband takes to drive up to the drugstore to get your card, you can be at home making your own. So here I have a little gift card. It's a Starbucks card, and I thought it was really cute. I think I got it last year, and so I've added a little bit of my tape runner to the inside of the card just to hold that in place since it's coming from the side. This is really tight, so I'll just go ahead and press that card in there. I thought it was perfect with the black background and the red hearts to go with this heart. Here's a look back at my finished card. I added a few gemstones, and I also added some glossy accents to the top of my red heart. You can't really see it here, but I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial on masculine Valentine's Day cards. Thanks for watching.